All right, everybody, welcome to the Underground Crypto Deep Dive Show. Let's kick this thing off and move over to the 4-hour chart for BTC here. All right, there we go. A little bit of a lag. I'm not sure what that's about. Fix the camera, and we are ready to go. Shout out to all of my undergrounders. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you will. If you notice, we actually hit 1,500 subs on the channel yesterday. We're actually at like 1,501. Let's make it 1,510. All right, let's keep it going. Appreciate you, Funky Ferret. That says 1,500 subs. Congrats. Chris Goss, 333 in the house. My fellow lifer, Melissa. Where's everybody at? It's a Monday night. See how everybody is doing. Let's check out this 4-hour chart here because we were talking about, let's see, where's my drawing tool? So we talked about it in this area here that we might flag out and make a move up to the 200. Of course, the worry is always that you're going to get rejected. And if you look right here at some of those white candles, those would normally be red in most people's charts. I changed the colors. There was some hesitation there at the 200, and then we got above it. Looked like we were going to lose it. Got above it again. Definitely did lose it. Look at that wick. That wicked all the way back down to this region here. And then it got back above before that 4-hour closed, and it was off. So you're getting exactly the cross of the 200 with the 21, the bounce. If you're looking at the 4-hour candle, I'm sure the 1 hour told a much different story, but the 1 hour was bouncing off of its 200. So, you know, you could look at more than one time frame. But anyways, I like that we're above the 4-hour 200-day moving average, and we seem to be bouncing off of that 21 and that cross. That looks pretty nice to me. Where's all my people at? Show something in the comments. Again, we hit 1,500 subs. Very, very happy about that. Smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Consider joining that membership. And I'm just giving everybody a minute to roll in. We're looking good on that 4-hour 200-day moving average. And of course, welcome back to the daily Crypto IQ stream where you can raise your crypto IQ every day. Tonight, we're starting a new series called the Onchain Market War. It's war, I guess. And the whole idea this week is pretty simple. Crypto is not just trying to create new coins anymore. I think we've moved past that quite some time ago. It's becoming the market layer for everything. Stocks, stablecoins, prediction markets, AI agent, payments, and of course AI agents, agentic networks, gaming economies, I'm sure is coming soon behind that. Real world assets, collateral, settlements, and tonight we start one of the hottest current narratives in crypto, tokenized stocks. And we've touched on it a little bit, but we haven't really focused on kind of the war between all the people who basically want to be on top of tokenized stock, from Coinbase launching their stuff, Mondo, been working on it for years, and many others see these tokenized stocks as well. Crypto platforms are trying to bring stock exposure on the blockchain rails. We've known that for a while if you've been here, but to the normie, this is still probably news. And that means tokenized equities, tokenized ETFs, 24/7 trading, faster settlements, stablecoin payment rails, and of course global access to them. There's a lot of big things in what I just said there. Hopefully you understand and can digest it. If not, we're going to break it down for you. Raise that crypto IQ. You're in the right channel. Smash that like button. But we need to slow down and ask the real question here. What does a tokenized stock actually represent? Is it a real share? Is it a derivative? Do you get, I guess it would be derivatives, right? Do you get, what do you call it? Why is my mind blanking? That's no good. We'll move on. It'll come back to me in a minute. Who holds the underlying asset? Who gets the right to use it? Who is included in the dividends or voting rights? That's what I was looking for, was dividends, right? A lot of tokenized stocks up until this point, you didn't really get a dividend for holding it. So did you really own it? Coinbase is talking about their tokenized stocks will actually give you the right and you will earn dividends from it. It's pretty cool if you ask me. It's better than what you had before. You want to see a continual evolution, right? And what happens if the issuer fails, right? If the person who actually tokenized the stock, what happens when they fail? Do you still own that stock? And why are crypto platforms so interested in this market in the first place? So that's tonight's topic. I hope you guys are looking forward to raising that crypto IQ. In the future, it's already here. It's just not evenly distributed. And that is William Gibson. Camsta in the house. I don't know what's going on. It says there's 3 people here. There's no way there's 3 people here. I see Stregahart, I see Chris Goss, I see Melissa, and Camsta just piped in. So there's no way there's 3 people here. How are all my undergrounders doing? We're just kicking off this stream, just kind of bringing in the introduction on a Monday. And of course, my favorite section to do before we get into the crypto bubbles, what you may not know. You may not know this, but tokenized stocks are already becoming a serious regulatory and market structure conversation. Reuters reported that the U.S. SEC, we're all familiar with the SEC, right, is preparing a policy path that would allow crypto companies to offer blockchain-based tokenized stocks with companies such as Coinbase, Robinhood, Kraken, positioned around that shift. Reuters also reported that the total market value of tokenized public stocks has grown to a little over $6.4 billion. But here's the part that we need to understand, right? Not every tokenized stock product gives you the same right as actually just owning the stock normally. And this will become extremely important as more people get into this space. Robinhood's EU stock token page says that stock tokens are derivative contracts between the user and Robinhood, priced based on the underlying securities, and that they do not grant rights to the underlying securities. That is directly from Robinhood's website, so that's kind of important. Kraken, X-Stocks, so X-Stocks are very much Kraken. I thought so, but I wasn't 100% sure. I like to see that confirmed. Page describes X-Stocks differently. So for Kraken, they say are tokenized representations of real-world stocks and ETFs, backed one by one by the underlying equity and issued as SPL token on chain. And you could imagine that Robinhood has a different take on it, right? Robinhood, not one of my favorite exchanges, and not in crypto really one of the favorite exchanges either. I hear you. So the microphone's messing up? Wow, I really hate when that happens. Here, let's try to fix it. All right, you tell me if that's any better. I might have to restart it. Of course, did that whole introduction. Your mic is cracking bad. OMG, not good. Ugh. I guess I got to go back to doing my mic checks, huh? Not the stream. I'm not restarting the stream. All right, I'm trying to listen to the playback. All right, guys, I can't sit here and just listen to myself talk forever. It was just at the beginning when I first joined. Okay, well, let me know if it starts doing it again. I don't want to have the double play the whole time where you just hear me talking and me listening to it. That's no fun. We're going to be talking about tokenized stock. That's what you guys need to know is the topic, but we're doing like an on-chain series, right, for like the war over people's control, and tokenized stocks just seems like a great place to start there. Let's get over to the crypto bubbles and really kick this off while we wait, I guess, for a few people to hop in. It is on Monday, so no telling what's going on in people's lives on a Monday. I appreciate you, Cam, still letting me know. DXY up 14%. Went as high as $28.90. What else? Jito, Morpho, Aave, not up a lot. Of course, let's shift our focus here to this red. 17.6 for hash. Oh, it's cracking up again real bad. I'm just going to reset the mic. It'll probably freeze the camera. Just give me 1 minute here. All right, camera's fixed. Reset it. A lot of times you'd think it's the microphone that's cracking up, but it's actually something to do, you know, digitally within the preamp. Not exactly sure. what that's about. So let me know if it's doing it some more. We should be good from here on out. Might as well get all of this shaky stuff out on a Monday in the beginning of the stream, right? Because we got plenty of runway to go here. Hash. Province blockchain, it's down 17%. Meme core, it's down 14%. It was up as high as $1.45 today. Let's look at the weekly, though. On the week, it's still up like 100%, right? If you knew to buy the bottom on this thing, you're already up like 100%. Bonk, which I know to be Strega Hearts, one of Strega Hearts' favorite here, and I think over time, as we run into a bear market, I think he's going to do really good on a lot of these purchases here. Let's look at it on the yearly. Yeah, when bonk decides to, should I do it? When it decides to bonk in the upward direction, he's going to do really well on that, I believe. I know I shouldn't have done that. It's corny. 1 through 1,000 here. I mean, your biggest is 2 to 300, 1.6%. Let's drop down 100 here. Ansem apparently is not done. What's the market cap? 171 million. I've been watching the market cap more than anything. It's holding up pretty well. I mean, hasn't had this mega dump yet. At some point, people who own large chunks of this, I feel like they gotta start selling a little bit. People are going to watch how much money's in their wallet just go. Somebody going to start selling at some point. All right, how's the microphone now? Is it better? Be cool if somebody gave me a thumbs up here. Melissa, are you listening, Melissa? I don't know if Melissa's quite here yet. She might be very tired from working so much over the weekend. That time and a half will get you. It'll draw you in every time. Monad, up 14.5%. Melissa, our resident queen of Monad. I'm sure she's happy about that. BTW or Bitway down 14.9%. Kamsta says the big wallets are starting to sell off Ansem. Will be huge short coming up. Exactly. And, you know, when it starts dropping, will a lot of the retail maybe try to buy it up? It'd be very interesting to see. Yeah, we can track their wallets. Exactly. At least you can track the wallets that you know of. They're smart. They make wallets too that you don't know about. Pith Network, right? Because people are like, oh, well, if they send money to another wallet, but what if they just off-ramp money and then they take that money, start a new wallet, and put it in it? You would have never seen the connection, and so they can definitely do things without you knowing. Yeah, we can see what they're doing a lot of time, but don't think you know all of their wallets and all the moves they're making and all the money. Pith Network getting a bit of a boost today, 12.8%. Again, we talked about Ansem, Backpack up 10%. This Riff up 22.4% to 13 cents, has 127 million market cap. What else is important here? Tibber's up 10%. Layer 0 up 10.2%. Build On down 18%. And Velvet down 10.7%. What is Velvet down to? 46. Let's go ahead and take a look at that on the weekly. Velvet one to watch that could potentially bounce back pretty well. 200 million right now in the market cap. The 1 month, of course, still up 150%. The month started at about 18, a high 18 cents, call it almost 19 cents, right? And then ran all the way to $1.89. A heck of some gains here. And then it fell, and it is still up 150% on the month. It's up, almost 700% on the year. So this seems like this might be one to catch, but never financial advice here. How's everybody doing? Just me and Kamsta hanging out, apparently. It's a Monday. Got a great series for you. No matter what's going on in the market, what's going on in life, politically, markets, whatever, I'm here on a Monday trying to raise your crypto IQ and stay in touch with what's going on in this market right now. So 2 to 300, this was our biggest percentage per 100, if you understand what I'm saying by market cap. I feel like I always got to explain that. YFI, I feel like we were literally just talking about YFI on not Saturday, Friday, right? Saturday was 4th of July. It did not stream. But I feel like we were literally just talking about this on Friday. And here it goes, 35%. Tokenomics, very important. If you do not know YFI's tokenomics, you should take a look at them. Camsta says, scared to look at charts, stuck in some shorts that aren't going my way, was looking good this morning. Camsta, did you notice it? The 4-hour Bitcoin chart is above its 200-day moving average and holding, and the 21 crossed the 200 and it's bounced. Those are not usually signs that you should be shorting. It's easy to get really dialed in, especially when you're looking for shorts, probably like on the 1 minute or something like that. Definitely don't forget to zoom out and look at some of those higher time frames. And in this environment, I'm mostly only looking at higher time frames. So Blur is up 43.5%, Trya up 29.1%. But as I always say, you do what you want to do with your money. Allura, which we talked about a lot. I am kind of surprised how much Allura is getting a lot of attention, because their chain abstraction, there are a lot of the things that we're talking about, I believe, is very much the future of adoption, you know, making the user more of a focus when you're building a product. There's a thought for you. I don't know why that's just now becoming more important, but as the tech grows, maybe they have more capability to do so. Anyways, it's up 15.8%, and a very interesting project, but there's others similar. I'm surprised that Allura is the one that keeps catching a lot of the liquidity. And then, of course, Magma Finance. It's in the Sweet ecosystem. It's done some decent numbers and had some decent little pumps, but it looks like it's given most of it back. It went all the way to 79 cents. Now it's back to 44. Today, it's down 11%. Let's go ahead and move on to our price rundown, where we just keep in touch with the market. 2.28 trillion, up 1.3%. Can we get back to like 2.5 trillion? That would be pretty awesome. And yeah, who else is here with me? I can see other people are here. Drop a comment. Bitcoin, $64,100. Up 6.4% in the last 7 days. I mean, just look at above my head here in the corner of the 7-day chart. Just a lot of green. Rain is red, but that's okay. I don't really like prediction markets anyways. But they're going to go on and people are going to use them. Ethereum, 1,800. Pretty much on the dot, 11.7% to the upside. Ethereum catching a nice bounce there. BNB, $585, 4.8% to the upside. XRP, $1.15, up 8.4%. Solana, $82.20, up 9.3%. Hyperliquid, $71.53, up 5%. Dogecoin, 7.5 cents. Up 4.5%. I was going to say it's up 5% almost. That threw me off. Zcash, $454, up 10.9%. Cardano, man, Cardano caught some steam. I don't know if we just like hit a point where people were like, it's too low, I have to buy some. Somebody's pumping this thing. 18 cents, almost 18.5 cents, up 26.3% for Cardano. When was the last time we got to say, oh, look at Cardano, it's up 26.3% in the last week? It's been a while. XLM, 19.9, so almost 20 cents here. XLM up 14.5%. Starting to see some nice percentages. Whitebit, which is an exchange coin. It's not another form of Bitcoin. It's an exchange coin. The exchange is called Whitebit, and this is their coin. It is up 19.9%, 20%. If you will. XMR, $322, up 2.4%. Chainlink, $8.02, up 8.5%. Gram, we used to know it as Toncoin, $1.79, up 11.3%. Really liking what I'm looking at here. This is looking like a bit of a rally. Doesn't mean it's the end of the bear market or the beginning of the bull market. It just means a little relief rally. Things were getting a little bit too low. Some people had to gobble some up. And probably people with big pockets, not your average retail, right? I don't think retail's here. And normally, at the bottom of a bear market, retail isn't here. Very few, if at all, retail, right? Lab back up to $15. I mean, you had a chance to buy this, I think, again for like $8, and you would have been up quite a bit. Then we got Litecoin, $44.87, up 4%. HBAR, 7. cents, up 2.3%. Look at this Circle USYC just kind of slide in here. That's interesting. SWE, 75 cents, still under $1. I still like SWE. I think I would have liked it at 69 cents, but I'll take it at 75. MemeCore, $1.21. It's up 103%. What else do we want to talk about? BitTensor, 215, up 3%. Even Uniswap catching a nice 10% bounce. So you get the message. Things are getting a nice bounce right now. Is it sustainable? Is this the bottom of the bear market? We don't really know. You never really know. You can use some really good metrics, common sense, whatever you want to call it, technical analysis, but it's only hindsight when you get to look back that you get to say you were right or you were wrong or it was obvious. A lot of times it's not super obvious at the time. Here we got Grove. Up 30% today, no 7 days. Looks like it's probably a new coin. We'll go over that. Ansem. How much is Ansem up? We got to go look at this. All time. What's it up right now? 71,000%. It was up like 121% on like Friday when I looked at it. So interesting. I don't know if more coins were put out. I'm not exactly sure. Yearn.finance, YFI, up 57% in the last 7 days. Man. And again, we talk about tokenomics. I'm just going to touch on it for a half a second here. 36,666. I don't know who chose that number, but anyways, that's how many are in the max supply. Circulating supply, only 35,815. Very low tokenomics if you understand your tokenomics. That makes for a high price on a token. And when money comes into the market cap, it actually moves the price value of the coin quite a bit. Basically, all you need to know is the lower the max or the supply or the circulating supply, really, the better. Anyways, Pudgy Penguins, Lighter, Bonk, Ethereum, Hyperliquid, Aave, Monad, Grass. Again, Grass actually paying out now. I wouldn't mind bringing that up for a half a second. And I'll talk about it when we get there. Near Protocol, Lab, Uniswap, Morpho. Which one of these have you like, I've never heard of that before? Probably Groove, I would imagine, because I think it's a brand new coin. Wow, look at that. Very up and to the right. Let's go to the 24-hour here. Actually, let's go to like the 3-month. So I can make sure it came out today. It did. This coin token generated today. Token generation, very different from like the first time the project tweeted on X. They X'd. Can we stop saying tweeted? Like we could just say like they X'd. I don't think that's ever going to be catchy. And they really don't even have a lot of data for this thing yet at all. It's finance, Ethereum contract. They have an app. I see that. DeFi, decentralized finance, governance, lending protocol. Probably a lot of the things that you'd be very familiar with when it comes to a financial coin. Capitalizing the stablecoin economy. I mean, makes perfect sense. Who's backing them? How much money they have? What kind of plan do they have? I don't know. This is a big market. These stable coins, it's going to be the first stuff really with the big stamp of approval from the regulator or people not getting the approval depending on where you are and what you're doing. Groove is an institutional grade infrastructure growing credit, capital markets, and demand for on-chain finance. They do have an app. When it comes to these projects, I don't really, we're in a restricted region. Okay, so this is actually like kind of not for the US, which is interesting. It's going to be very intriguing to see as the regulation rolls out with the Clarity Act and all of that stuff, how it's all about stable coins and who's going to be allowed to issue them. If you're out of US jurisdiction, do you get to keep your ability to make your own US based stable coin? Because you're really stepping on the toes of like the financial reserve and stuff like that. They issue money and they get paid, well for it in interest. So you doing it doesn't seem like they would be real happy with that. Anyways, that's Groove. It is a financial app. I couldn't really explore it as much as I really would like to. Then we got Ansem, Black Bull, Yearn Finance, YFI. We talked about that for a minute. it's again a financial thing. What is there to say? A lot of people trying to capitalize off stablecoins. Stablecoins make money through the fees mostly. It's not like you can buy a stablecoin. Obviously, if it fluctuated like that, it wouldn't be stable. You're not going to buy a stable coin and then get like a big return or any return unless you're getting some percentage from staking. That's different. Later, bonk. Grass I was going to talk about for half a second. I like grass quite a bit. I've been using it for a while. Let's see. Allocations. They're going to give me $13. Got 4 referrals. Nothing crazy, as you guys can see. I'm not balling off of affiliate links over here, unfortunately. Because if I was balling off of affiliate links, we'd be giving stuff away on this channel like crazy. Yeah. It's a little disappointing how long I've been running it, but I haven't done anything. It just runs automatically. So to be fair, I've done nothing of any real value, except for maybe getting a couple of people to come on through affiliates. But you have to be up. Let's see if it'll say in the dashboard with affiliates. So you have to run it for like 100 hours before they give you like a verified somebody. So if you've downloaded this because I talked about it, but you don't actually run it, not getting anything here. I have one person who's reached qualified referral. And that one person's probably going to get paid like me a little bit of money. And who knows, maybe you play your cards right like I'm going to try to do. I'm going to buy $13 of something that I think is highly speculative and could turn into something. Maybe I'm gonna buy $13 of some V token because I think V token in the future could do some crazy numbers. And that's VEE, never financial advice. But I do like how it's tied into the game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you haven't been here very long. So let's move along. Fear and Greed Index is at 27. Love to see that. We did it. We got out of the extreme fear. Now the question is, can we stay out of that extreme fear? Yesterday, it was at 24, which would have still been in extreme fear, right? Past 25. Let's see if we can get up to the neutral zone before we get pulled back, right? Or do we get like a day or two of this? Is this setting up for the week? Is false move Monday, right? And we get a bit of a boost and the rest of the week's down. That's what a lot of people would tell you about a Monday. We will see. Again, right now my forte is to zoom out, stay on the 4-hour chart, buy spot bags. Even with us getting back above the 200 and having a little bit of pump, 2 years from now, whatever I buy is probably going to look pretty damn good. Anyways, I forget I try not to curse. Sorry about that. Let's make this the top. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Let's go to trending coins. That's what I'm trying to do here. Make it the top 20 and not the top 10. All right. So Tau Lend. So they're going to have their own lending protocol. When you see SN in a number that is subnet, the SN tells you immediately, hey, this is the BitTensor ecosystem, Tau ecosystem, and this is called Tau Lend. It is subnet 116. Very interesting. It's up 100% today, so it's doing well, and probably not really worth going into huge detail with, but I'll take a look at it. It's a lending protocol. I know that gets you guys all excited. Plague Dog says he's lurking. What's up, Plague Dogs? Welcome in, welcome in. Anybody in the Discord catch my video on Sunday? It was just a quick video where I was showing, I didn't show myself packing orders per se, but I was showing why I can't stream on Sundays. So if you want to know why I can't stream on Sundays, check that video out. It's not long. Anyways, Tau Lend is a decentralized lending protocol. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Let's see. It's on, of course, the BitTensor ecosystem and nowhere else. So it's BitTensor native. And it's probably a well-needed financial product on BitTensor, I would imagine, right? I haven't seen a ton of that. Plague Dog's waving to everybody. Somebody say hi back. Don't leave him hanging now. Strugahart in the house. What's up, Strugahart? 36 million in market cap. 46 million all-time high. This thing is interesting, and it's very low market cap. Timing is everything. You got to really think some things through here. Do we think lending is going to be big on BitTensor? Are they the only people doing lending on BitTensor, right? Stuff like that. Website not working. Maybe they don't have the right website here. Urine Finance, we already talked about. It's up 36.8%. We talked about it on Friday, and it was much lower, so it's got a nice bounce. HTX, I'm pretty sure it's Huobi, right? HTX DAO. Then we have this Multiply, and it's in a funding round. Let's check that out. Cryptic Quentin says, how we doing tonight? We're doing great. Thank you for coming to the show. Smash that like button. We are past 1,500 subs, so I'm very excited about that. It's got me a little fired up today. We passed 1,500 subs like, it was today, but it was like 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning last night that I saw it. Multiply is a cross-chain yield platform enabling secure, high API farming on tokenized assets, RWA. And the series, for those that maybe missed the intro, whether it was my cracking mic or you weren't here, we're going to be talking about the market of tokenized assets, but the war kind of over who has control over it. I think it's going to be an interesting show and an interesting series as well. We're going to be talking about kind of on-chain push and pull, if you will, for this whole series, but it'll be different topics. It's not going to be tokenized assets every night. Multiply has raised $21.5 million with people like Pantera Capital, Sequoia. I'm thinking of a different group. Sequoia Capital and Spartan Group, all ones that I normally see in the top spots. And then we have this, of course, Bonks here, right? It's down 10% today. Utya, that's what it looks like. Utya is a meme coin in the Ton ecosystem. Ton ecosystem doesn't exist anymore. It's Gram. I think they need to change this. It's supposed to be Gram. It says, that's sick, man. Congrats or grats on the 1,500. Appreciate it. It's been a lot of hard work and building in a bear market, right? You expect to see those subs go up quick. Doesn't work that way. Not until you're one of the bigger cats where people actually, where YouTube really feeds you out. Yeah, the duck that quacks on crypto. I mean, it's a meme coin. Doesn't feel like meme coin season, but these things can catch some speed and do some things. It's a new meme coin on Ton. What are big? I mean, you have dogs, right? And you have Not. Those are two meme coins that I can name off the top of my head in the Ton ecosystem, but I don't feel like you really have a lot of meme coins in the Ton ecosystem. Utya is the beloved Telegram mascot rubber duck that captures the heart across the internet. So there's a little bit of lowdown on where it comes from. If you're really big on Ton ecosystem, that could very well be one to keep an eye on. 33.8 million in market cap, been as high as 59.9 million. Caught up on the chat. Let's keep moving along here. And we got Ionic Digital. It's in its funding round. Ionic Digital is an infrastructure company providing high-performance computational data centers for AI workloads and industrial Bitcoin mining. So keep that in mind. No coin yet, meaning no token generation event. They've raised 400 million, and they're giving them a valuation of 2 billion. That's the discrepancy between the money they raise and the valuation is always kind of blowing my mind. But I don't know, maybe they have huge bases somewhere and real infrastructure and buildings they own and stuff like that. Then it could make some sense. So DXC, we know about that plenty, 12.5% to the upside. Tron, Bitcoin, right? But it's doing 0.2% up today. Catapult, or Pulp, is in its token sale. It is a platform for issuing and trading synthetic tokens, RWAs, tokenized. Synthetic tokens, right? Not necessarily stocks, but RWAs nonetheless, with customizable volatility. We would like all of the volatility to the upside, please. Can we order that? Backed by KuCoin Ventures and nobody else. 3.6 million. It's a meme pad. Polygon ecosystem, Solana ecosystem. I don't know. Do they think they're going to take on the Pump.Fun and come in and take some market share? I don't know how well they'll do, but it seems really interesting. Let's go to the website. All right, first off, they let me into the website. So that's always a good sign, right? They haven't kicked me out because they don't like where I am on my VPN, huh? Nova, Tarantula, GCH, Boss X, just some random meme coins, right? Keep an eye on them. I'm not the Pump.Fun meme coin guy because that takes a lot of time and effort, but Prime Minister of Japan, who I haven't seen yet, but he'd probably come through. He's very good at this type of stuff from what I understand. At least he understands it much more than I do. So that's home. You can go to Discover. I have no idea what some of these will be called. Looks like so far so good. Sometimes it could be a little R-rated. Up to 14% monthly returns. Returns on what? Legendary cost 1,000 with a 14% monthly ROI. I don't know what are they giving you? What are you even buying? Packages are a set of token launches with stable returns from fees. Okay, this seems pretty interesting to me. I wish Prime Minister was here to give me a little bit more information about this. So here's your packages. Purchase a package. The higher the tier, the higher the ROI. That makes sense. 100 packages per user. Any combinations of packages is available. Every package gives you daily credits to spend on token launches. This seems like a bit of a different idea here. I haven't seen that yet. Beat expected returns. Interesting tokens attract more traders and increase your returns. Detailed overview. Get detailed info about your return. Invite, earn, and play so you can have a referral system. I don't know. This is giving me a vibe that like they're doing something a little bit different than your average launch pad. Of course, I know that, you know, Pump.Fun and them, they earn fees, you know, off of things like they definitely earn money, those people who launch over there. It's why a lot of people do. Very interesting. I'd love to spend a little bit more time on it, but I don't want to soak up too much time here. I think I'll leave that one up. And that's what this show is really for. Sometimes I find something so interesting, I'm like, I got to leave this up and take a look at this a little bit later on my own time so I don't just sit and waste your time. Or at the end of the show when we're just hanging out, something like that. We got to continue our movement here. We have Telor, or TRB. $47 million in its market cap. It is a decentralized Oracle platform for DeFi infrastructure. That's always good. Backers and funders like YZI Labs, always says previously Binance. I'm sure Binance still probably telling YZI what to do. Ethereum, Lena, Lisk, Polygon, Mantle, and that's allegedly, of course. That's my opinion. 1.4 billion is the all-time high, so this thing is not a new token. Let's shift it to the weekly. Let's see about what we got here. 24th of August 2020, right? 2020. Don't know why I hesitated there. Let's take a look at their website. It's Teller.io, the source of decentralized data. Again, it's an Oracle. Teller is the Oracle layer for secure, censorship-resistant data creation. Now, this thing's been around for a while. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. Like, it's a new coin that's going to get a bunch of attention. It's getting some kind of attention, right? And I would certainly go look at their track record if you're interested in a coin like this. My first thought would be, what is their track record, right? How well have they really done since they launched? We have Thea. Theta is the first thing that came to my mind, right? Thea is a predictive behavioral AI network providing an off-chain inference, and on-chain coordination layer on Solana for risk markets. So what do we need to know about this? One, Solana, that it is AI network. It provides off-chain inference and on-chain coordination. That's to scramble the words on you. Maybe it makes a little bit more sense when you read it a different way. Spartan Group, who's the number one here? Just Spartan Group. Hack VC, I've seen that quite a bit. Let's go look at their website. Just Thea.ai. So it definitely has the AI narrative going for it. Building an autonomous future with AI solutions for risk markets. Decoding human behavior patterns to democratize and optimize decision intelligence under extreme pressure and volatility. What we do. AI that amplifies human performance. Our autonomous intelligence systems leverage machine learning, big data, high performance computing to optimize user performance in high-stake environments. Our behavioral analytics support healthy ecosystems, detect suspicious patterns, and enhance decision-making. Again, they're as good as their track record is. That's how that goes. You know, kind of maybe if you were to use something like this, I put a tiny bit of money and I would see how good their track record was over something like 6 months to a year before I really ever thought about putting more money in it. Redefining predictive intelligence, applying game theory optimal principles. Sounds really cool. Battle tested, proving success reliance for 10 plus years. Our intelligence systems have operationalized complex action patterns and robustness. So they have 10 plus years, huh? And they're just now launching this product. I mean, if this was somebody who already had a lot of experience in data in the market, and then they built something using all of that, that could be pretty awesome. Behavior driven, optimized decision precision. Leveraging behavioral insights and market intelligence, Thea builds real-time decision-making solutions for dynamic risk landscapes. It sounds really cool. I don't really know how well they deliver. No token generation event yet, so this thing is still not quite out. They've raised $8 million. Just not a whole lot of money, really. All right, let's see. Extended, also in a funding round. Let's check out what this is. Make sure we're up to date on the chat. Plague Dog says, another day of learning. Absolutely. Every day is a good day to learn something here. So this is X10. It's rebranded to Extended. Now, why would they need to rebrand? That always gives me a question. And why would a rebrand constitute like a new token generation event? I don't know if X10 ever had a token. I don't even know what X10 is, to be 100%, transparent. But I see here they give us the rebrand notice. They've raised $19 million. Extended is an on-chain perpetual exchange. There you go. Offering trading across crypto and traditional markets with unified margin systems. It really should kind of tell you everything you need to know there. Let me get back to my chat. What is going on here? There we go. So they've raised 19 million. Let's see what the website looks like. Are we able to use it? They just want you to go straight to mobile, it looks like. It's taking a minute. And here's a really interesting thing. If you look up at the top, you will see that because I came from Crypto Rank, when I clicked on it, it is automatically a Crypto Rank affiliate link. Crypto Rank's getting a kickback for that. Not that I think there's anything wrong with it, because if it wasn't for Crypto Rank, I wouldn't even know what it is. But I know how people get so up in arms about affiliate links, anybody making anything, but they'll come to a website like this and click stuff and give them affiliate money all day long without batting an eye. But if a normal person, who they consider a normal person, not a celebrity, tries to, use an affiliate link, all of a sudden everybody's all up in arms. Very weird mentality in my opinion. Talus Network, right, is very interesting. Tezos Monad Artificial Intelligence Alliance, or FET. Kaya, the Sandbox. Those are all ones you should know. Before we go any farther, let's hop right in and raise that crypto IQ. I know that's what you're here for. I know that's what you want. So where do we normally start here? We start with the problem. So let's lay out the problem for you so that then we can explain what we think the solution could be and who might have that solution in the market. For decades, the stock market has run on traditional financial rails, right? Big narrative in crypto, disrupting those financial rails. Brokerage account, market hours, clearing systems, settlement cycles, custodians, transfer agents, exchanges, payment systems, regulators. And for most people, that system worked well enough that they never really think about the plumbing, right? The infrastructure. They just open an app, buy a stock, see the position, show right up. But behind the scenes, markets are far more complicated than that. That would be a good example, right, of traditional finance having good abstraction. The complications of what's actually going on behind the scenes, you're not feeling them in the apps, right? Maybe you use something like Webull or Robinhood or all the many apps that deal with traditional finance, been around for forever, right? You don't really feel the complication of it. That's abstraction. Ownership, settlement, custody, clearing, dividends, voting rights, and compliance all have to be handled. Crypto looks at that system and asks a very big question. What if it could move on blockchain rails? What if stock exposure could trade around the clock? What if settlements could happen faster? And I very much believe Wall Street, all of those stocks, everything is moving towards a more 24/7, never-ending, never shutting down kind of world. What if the settlements could happen faster? What if stablecoins could become a cash leg of trade? What if stocks, ETF, bonds, RWAs, and crypto assets could live closer together inside one market structure? That is the excitement. But it also creates a problem because tokenized stocks sound simple, but it can mean very different things. This is the shift we need to make tonight. We cannot just hear stocks on chain and assume we know what the heck that even means. Tokenized stocks could be derivative. They could be a receipt. They could be backed by shares held somewhere else. They could represent economic exposure without shareholder rights. There's a big one. It could trade on blockchain, but still depend heavily on off-chain custody. It could be useful. It could also just be confusing. So the real question is not, are tokenized stocks good or bad? The better question, the higher crypto IQ question, is what exactly does this token represent? And when you go to buy some, you might want to know what it represents. If you were really bullish on getting in early on something like the Tesla stock, and so you bought a digital representation, I know that Weex had some, I know that other places had some. What were you really buying? Was it one-to-one? Did you have real ownership? Is it just a receipt, kind of digital representation of it? What happens if it went to zero tomorrow? Who would own the stock? You see what I'm saying? Does it represent ownership, exposure? Is it just a claim? Derivative contract? You're going to get, you're going to get a share of those dividends. A share held by custodian, a synthetic product, right? That distinction matters because users may assume they are buying a stock when legally they may not be buying something that behaves differently from a normal stock ownership, right? You might just be kind of buying a digital represented version. Once you understand this, tokenized stocks become much easier to judge. You can see why crypto platforms are excited. This market could bring stocks, crypto, stablecoins, and RWAs close together in one super app, if I dare say. Coinbase, I think, has pretty much got this on lock. Kraken, probably about second. And I see Robinhood really trying to close the gap fast to be like that third spot. Again, I'll say it, Robinhood in the same sentence of seriousness with Coinbase and Kraken. It's kind of laughable to me, but they have capital. This market could bring stocks, crypto, stablecoins, and RWAs closer together. It could create a 24/7 access. It could create collateral and more flexibility. It could open US equity exposure to a more global user. It could make settlement faster and more programmable. But you can also see the risk here, right? What rights do the users have? Who holds the underlying stocks? What happens during corporate actions? How does voting work, right? A lot of people who buy a huge amount of stocks, they expect to have some say in the actual, company. But if everybody starts buying a bunch of tokenized stocks and say all of the actual one-to-one stocks, so say Coinbase, Kraken, whoever, they give you a digital version, right, of the stock, but they buy the legitimate stock so that they have it one-to-one. Well, if they hold all the real stock and say their whole platform, say all the people collectively on Coinbase own 75% of a stock, say it's a crypto stock or something, right? But Coinbase technically is the one who has the actual stock. You guys all just have a digital version, right? And then it's Coinbase who has 75% of the say in the company, not the individual people. So what happens if the issuer fails? What happens if the token trades away from the real stock price? That is the whole lesson tonight. This is what we're really getting at. Tokenized stocks may be one of the hottest parts of on-chain finance, but the Crypto IQ move is not just asking, can I trade it? The real question is, what are you actually holding with a tokenized asset? What do you really own? Do you really own anything? Are you even going to get derivatives? Let's hop over to Blockworks, which I like a lot. Let's refresh it, make sure we have the latest numbers, and let's see top gainers. Rootstock Infrastructure Framework. Monad coming in second, so Melissa stacking that Monad is serving her well today. DXC, Pith Network, Layer 0, Jito, and last but not least, at 7%, Convex Finance, which I haven't heard that in a while. But what are our top losers? Build On, specifically for the World Liberty Finance ecosystem. This thing is kind of up and down, but mostly down. It's down almost 20%, 19%. MemeCore at $1.23, which is up over 100% from where it was a short time ago, but it's down 13% today. Bonk Velvet almost looking like it's at one of those prices, kind of like what MemeCore was before it got its little bounce there. So you do with that what you want. With Celestia, it's at 37 cents. Man, I'm glad I sold that thing. Cadio, I think I sold it at like, I don't even know, $8, $9, $12, something like that. I bought it at like $3.54. Glad to have done that. And we're running through this show quick tonight. We're going to move right back into raising that crypto IQ. And don't you know it, I do this very much to educate myself and stay on point. And so I'm going to read these and raise my own crypto IQ regardless of who's paying attention. And sometimes you just got to have that level of focus and obsession to really make it anywhere in any kind of, what do we want to call this? Occupation. An idea you have and you want it to get big. I want to raise people's crypto IQ. I got to show up and raise my own first every day. How long have we been doing this show so far? That's a great question. 7 months? Maybe 8 months? I'd have to go back and look. Tokenized stocks bring stock exposure onto blockchain rails. A tokenized stock is a blockchain-based representation of stock exposure. But the wording is important. It may represent direct ownership, economic exposure, a claim on an issuer, a derivative contract, a share backed by a custodian, or a token that tracks the price of the stock. But all those things are all different things. They're not the same thing. And that's why users need to understand the structure before they assume they own normal shares. And that is very much what we're getting at here when it comes to tokenized stock. They say own some of this tokenized Tesla stock. You can get exposure before the real stock launches. But what exposure are you getting? Are you going to get dividends? Are you actually going to own anything at all of the actual stock? That becomes the big question. Campson says, I don't know how early I found your show, but it began my leverage trading education. It's been over half a year for sure. Yeah, I know we got to be over 6 months. I think we're around 8. And that's really interesting that you say that. I began your web trading education. Well, I hope that that's been going well for you. It takes some time to really get good at trading. I mean, 4 years minimum, in my opinion. And that is why a lot of people get in, mess up their money, and get out before they ever really learn anything about how to trade. And I'm still learning how to be a better trader all the time. Even right now when I'm not trading, it's still on my mind, and I'm still looking at charts, even if I'm not actively moving anything around. So this is heating up. We're talking about tokenized stocks, right? This is heating up because crypto platforms want to become full market platforms or super apps or whatever you want to call it, right? All under one roof. Crypto exchanges do not want to trade only Bitcoin and altcoins. They want to become a broader financial platform. Stocks, ETFs, futures, stablecoins, tokenized assets, RWAs, collateral, and derivatives. Router reports that crypto companies such as Coinbase, Robinhood, and Kraken, I don't know why they put Robinhood before Kraken, are positioned around the push to offer blockchain-based tokenized stocks in the U.S. policy decision to move forward. That matters because the battle is bigger than just one product, right? There's a whole little war going on over this. It's about who controls the next generation of financial access. Takeaway, tokenized stocks are not just about stocks, right? They are about crypto platforms trying to become market platforms, right? They're evolving into different things. And that is very important to understand if you're trying to keep a pulse on the market. So your normal question, where does it trade? Stock exchange, broker, tokenized stocks, it's going to be on blockchain rails and crypto platforms. What do you own? A normal stock, usually legal shares, right? Through the brokerage structure. Tokenized stock, well, it depends on the token design. So big, vague space. This is what I want to say here. I love everything crypto, and I don't think that'll ever change. But when there is a huge gray space that most people don't understand, there's going to be somebody who's going to take advantage of it to take advantage of you. And in the normal stock setting, this has been hashed out a long time ago in legislation and regulation around it, where you legally own shares through a brokerage structure. In tokenized stocks, it just depends on the token design. The way that they designed the tokenized asset, that's what you own. So if you don't take the time to see what that is, and the platform goes bankrupt, the issuer, you might not own anything at all. Just like they found out with FTX and their crypto. Can it trade 24/7 in traditional market? No. It depends on the platform, but in the world of crypto, blockchain technology, yes, right? And I think you get the point there. That was the biggest point I really wanted to make there. So the promise itself is access and speed and 24/7 hour markets. The bullish case for tokenized stocks, it's easy to understand. Traditional markets have limit. On blockchain rail, it doesn't. That's a huge difference, right? Market hours, settlement windows, jurisdiction restrictions, that's fun. Brokerage access, capital inefficiencies. Tokenized markets promise something more internet native. 24/7 assets, faster settlements, global reach. Fractional exposure is a really good one. Programmable collateral, stablecoin payment rails, easier integration with DeFi, that'll become a big deal later on down the line, and one wallet holding many different types of assets. That is why the narrative is so exciting. And it is actually exciting. It makes stocks feel more like crypto. The promise of tokenized stocks is not really ownership. It's the market access and market speed. All right, cool. We are caught up here. I love how like the font of the chat just changed all of a sudden. Very interesting. The biggest misunderstanding is assuming every tokenized stock equals real stock ownership. Again, can't really say this one enough. This is where hype can get very sloppy. Robinhood, and they want to focus on Robinhood, and who would be surprised that Robinhood would be the ones to pull this crap? Not me. Robinhood's EU stock token page says its stock tokens are derivative contracts between the user and Robinhood. They're like, this is just between us. Priced based on underlying securities without granting rights to the underlying securities. They give it to you right here. This is Robinhood's own website, right? So nobody can be mad when this comes down in flames because they are telling you right here, you are not granted rights to the underlying securities. It also warns that investors may lose up to the full amount of invested capital due to market conditions or Robinhood insolvency. You own nothing. Robinhood owns it all. They're going to find a way to make a lot of money off of you, right? And what does not mean the product is useless? That doesn't mean the product is necessarily useless, right? It just means you need to know what you have and what you're doing and what rights you have and which ones you don't. It means users need to understand what they are buying. A good example here would be your crypto that you keep on a centralized exchange. If you haven't been told by now, not your keys, not your crypto, if they go bankrupt, that's not your money, right? They might have some kind of obligation to pay you something back, but not in the native assets that you thought you owned. So if you own an asset on a centralized exchange and they go bankrupt, know that it's going to take them years to pay you something. And when they do, the asset you used to own on their platform might be worth way more money. This is where it's funny. It may be worth way more money than what it was when they went bankrupt, and they will not give you more money for it. But if it's worth way less money, well, they're totally going to take some money off the table for the fact that it's worth less money now. So they win, and then they use like a parent or a partner company to buy all of the assets for nothing, almost like they're doing it on purpose. And that is my speculation, right? So that's why it's important to understand what you have rights to and what you don't. Maybe there's a way in the future tokenized assets could be moved off of centralized exchange into things like a cold storage wallet for real ownership. That would be very cool, but it would also be very complicated, right? Economic exposure is not always the same as direct ownership, kind of like an ETF, right? When you buy ETF, you don't necessarily own the underlying asset, but you have exposure to it. Tokenized stock does not automatically mean I own the stock the same way I would from a brokerage account. And this is it's been a little repetitive, but I'm really trying to drive that home because that's the big point here. Backing and custody are everything. For tokenized stocks to be trusted, users need to know what backs this token. Is there actual shares? Who holds it? Is it one-to-one? Is there an independent custodian outside of the exchange? Can users actually redeem it? Are reserves verified or audited? How are corporate actions handled? Kraken's X stocks page says that each X stocks is backed one-to-one by the underlying equity and issued as a SPL token on chain. That is different structure than pure derivative contract. The point is not that one model is automatically perfect. The point is that structure matters a lot. Takeaway here is for tokenized stocks, the off-chain backing is more important than the on-chain token, definitely. And that's such a good point. Corporate actions are a major hidden complexity. Stocks are not just prices. Stocks can involve dividends, splits. Man, the splits, they crush you. Voting rights, mergers, buybacks, delistings, shareholder communications, tax reporting, and regulatory rules. A tokenized stock product has to decide how things work. Does the user get dividend exposure? Does the user get voting right? What happens during the stock split? What happens if the underlying company is acquired? That's a big one that a lot of people don't really think about on face value. What happens if trading is halted at some point? These details matter because traditional stocks are legal and corporate instruments, not just price charts. Tokenizing a stock is harder than tokenizing a ticker, or the ticker price to be more precise here. The risks are real even if the idea is exciting. Tokenized stocks can be exciting and risky all at the same time. A lot of times where there's a lot of risk, there can be a lot of reward and also a lot of loss. Main risks here include issuer risk, custody risk, liquidity risk, price tracking risk, right? Could get out of sync with the actual price, and even for an hour can be a big deal. Regulatory risk, platform insolvency risk, corporate action complexity, fragmented markets, lack of shareholder rights, confusing exposure and ownership. Exposure and ownership are not the same thing. Nobody who buys Bitcoin ETF, hopefully, I don't want to say nobody, most people who buy an ETFs have been around long enough. If it's a Bitcoin ETF, they're not like sitting there going like, oh, well, can I have my Bitcoin, please? Because they know that they don't actually own Bitcoin. But tokenized stocks, I think, are going to catch people off guard. And retail is, no matter how much I talk about it to the, handful of people on my show who watch the show, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to think that they really own something when they do not. Routers reported that critics, including Citadel Securities and SIFMA, have warned about investor risks and market integrity concerning tokenized stock reforms. That matters because that is not just a crypto story. It could affect traditional market structure too. Tokenized stocks may expand access, but they also introduce a whole new layer of risk. The big picture. This is about crypto becoming market infrastructure. This is the main lesson for today. Tokenized stocks are not just a new trading product. They are part of a bigger fight over market infrastructure. Who controls the trading? Who controls the settlement? Who controls the custody? Again, if a large platform like Coinbase or Kraken has a user base that buys a lot of one stock, and the actual exchange is the one who buys the legally represented, custodial stock, they're the ones who are going to be able to use all of that voting right. Here's a big money maker. Coinbase says they're going to give dividends. So I don't think Coinbase will be a culprit, but I would not put it past Robinhood to own the real stock while you have a digital version of the stock. They'll collect all of your dividends and give you nothing. Maybe promise you some small peanuts, but they'll mostly keep all your dividends. I wouldn't put it past them at all, unless the people get really mad and demand it, or everybody goes somewhere else because, say, Coinbase is giving dividends. Who would buy it on Robinhood? And then they're forced to give you dividends. But for the most part, I think if they have a choice, they're going to keep the dividends, give you a digital version, and make a crap ton of money, right? So, who controls the collateral? Who controls access, and who controls the user relationship? That is why this series is called the Onchain Market War. And you've got Coinbase, Kraken, Robinhood, and don't be surprised if some more names enter into this. Crypto is trying to move from being an asset class to being the rail system underneath many asset classes. Stocks are just the first major battlefield this week. Final takeaway here is tokenized stocks are exciting because they bring traditional markets onto crypto rails, but the real crypto IQ question is what the token actually represents and what is it backed by. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Let's roll over to the Twitter or X doom scroll, where we pick hashtag and we see what kind of interesting things that we can find, right? What is this? CCDU? Solana Cat. And remember, a lot of people spam a lot of stuff. They use hashtags. There you go. 5 wins, 2 losses since the fix. Oh, it's a Canadian cryptocurrency. Interesting. Cryptocurrencies are so global. I mean, unless you're a stablecoin, I don't know why you would really focus on something like, oh, this is Canadian. This is from The Block. President Trump proposal for strategic Bitcoin reserves is encountering roadblocks over which government departments will run it as legal hurdles. Yeah. So they're squabbling over who's going to get to control it. That's pretty typical, even in the government, or especially in the government, right? This guy, he bought a new car. Good for him. It's always interesting the stuff we find under here. So Blocktopia, B pumped 12%. Remember, we were just looking at build on. It was down with 100% bullish vote on CMC. Funding rates means perp traders are driving this. The catch, positive funding can flip fast and take the rally with it. Can it hold? Build on. Can B hold 12% price gains before? I guess not, because it's already dropped. It's funny, it'd be 4 minutes ago. We know that build on is down right now. I don't know if they're running off of like outdated information. The dual token framework designed by Conex World provides long-term stability for enterprise clients. Backpack tokenized stock race, huh? Just like me, I bought a share today too. Are you investing in crypto or tokenized assets? What a good post, in my opinion, as we are talking about tokenized assets today. I hope you got the main takeaway. The main takeaway is if you're going to buy a tokenized asset over just going to a regular, traditional market and buying through a brokerage an actual share, you better have a good reason for it, in my opinion. It's a weird thing to say because I'm super pro crypto, and I think over time we're going to have all this stuff figured out, but you're in the very early days. Somebody could sell you a digital representation with no voting right, no dividend, no ownership. So why would you take a second rate or second class asset over owning the real asset for the same price? And what's the crazy part? They'll probably charge you extra money to buy it from them. So no rugs, no BS. Yeah, I don't know. When people say, oh, we're long-term committed, there's no rug here, no rugs here, immediately I think, yeah, they're going to rug that thing. I don't know. Trust us. When you hear, oh, no, trust us. That makes me want to run for the hills. A sticker collection, huh? Oh, from crypto conferences. It's interesting. Bitcoin faced its worst month in years, but the whales bought the dip. Smart money bought the dip, signaling confidence. Will this boost lead to recovery or further dips? Stay tuned and share your thoughts. Again, I think a lot of these big whales, they don't just buy dips, they buy dips, and then they totally expect and have capital on the side to buy more dips, because I think a lot of the whales are not as tapped in as you think as far as knowing and having all the insider information. They just know timing and market structure. We're getting very, very close to some kind of bottom. We could go lower, and I think you're going to watch them. If we go lower, I think you're going to watch them buy more. And I think if you really studied a lot of these big whales and stuff, you would see that they don't win, and they're not whales just because they buy perfect bottoms, like they have insider instincts and information, although that could be true for some. But I think it's more of the fact that they buy when it's low, and if it goes a little lower, they buy a little more, and then the lower and lower it goes, the harder they buy, because they believe in the asset long term. Says, crypto isn't about wild swings anymore, it's about infrastructure. Hey, we want those wild swings to the upside. We already had the wild swing to the downside. Okay, let's see what these... We did a whole segment last week on XRP and stuff. Let's see what they're saying here. Protect your crypto assets, they say. It's not my words. This is this guy here who I have no idea who he is. Don't hold on exchanges or a cold wallet and ledger to safeguard your crypto assets. Use decentralized wallets to avoid losing them. I don't really even know what they're talking about. A decentralized wallet. Sounds like they're trying to sell you some absolute nonsense, but maybe they know something none of us know. I doubt it. And this is always fun for me. And I tell you, the X scroll, doom scroll is real. This guy, I see him a lot. Don't really know a lot about him. All I know is that he's always telling you to like start a trust fund and then put all your XRP in that trust fund. I don't know that it's a bad idea necessarily. I mean, I'd say you might want to do that for all your crypto assets. But I think one thing that they don't really tell you is like starting trust funds and stuff like that. You usually got to pay somebody some decent money to set those things up, right? It's not just, and you got to trust them too, because they can wiggle into some of that money somehow. It's kind of risky business. Smart money in crypto is evolving, so they say. I never know when I start reading it if I'm going to be reading somebody's shill. Institutional led, but now solo traders and early adopters are gaining edge. Will independent investors reshape the market? Okay. Smart money has always required a team until now. Prompt in. B&B agent studio. Agent out. It's interesting. It does sound like there's some kind of product there. Melissa, welcome in, welcome in. I've been wondering why I didn't see your name. I figured you were rather busy from a long weekend to working. You might have messaged me. I apologize if I missed your message. You're very, very good about letting me know what's going on. Sometimes I'm not the best about checking my messages. Today has been a day. Ripple secures EU CASP license, market full MiCA compliance, and boosting its presence in Europe. This move aims to meet rising crypto demands across continents. Will other firms follow suit? Would be very interesting if like Ripple got a lot of pump at some point because they were one of a few coins that had exposure in Europe. Seems like Europe with this whole MiCA thing, you could take it at face value, right? You could believe that Europe wants to just really make sure that nobody gets hurt inside the crypto markets. I don't know. If you believe that, I have multiple bridges around the world that I'd like you to buy sight unseen. What more seems like is they want to pick who has access to their market, and they probably want to charge them a premium in the disguise of regulation, right? Like, what's the difference between saying, hey, if you want to be a part of our market, you need to pay us X amount of dollars, $1 million, right? Or for these type of companies, say $1 billion. So like, you know, Ripple, you want to come over here? We need $1 billion. And Ripple's like, cool, we got $1 billion. We'll pay you $1 billion. It's worth it for us. But then you have smaller cryptocurrencies where they're like, we don't have $1 billion to give you guys. And they're like, that's fine. And they're like, well, that's extortion, right? You're extorting us for $1 billion just to be a part of your European market. And they're like, no, we're not. We're just charging you a license fee. What the hell is the difference between a license fee and just extorting you for money? Keep that in mind, because boy, does that apply to absolutely everything. It's very interesting what conversations we may get into in this Twitter doom scroll. And who knows? By the way, Melissa Manad is pumping. Are you happy about that? Now that you're here. And also we hit 1,500 subs. So thank you, Melissa, for everything that you do. Yeah, Zilla. I just see Zilla's getting shilled a lot. Let's go take a look at this Xzilla. Trust me, I know it's probably some meme coin nonsense, but meme coins can slap. Here we are. It's got $6,500 in it. Let's make sure we're all very aware of that. Let's see. Oh, okay. No, the market cap is actually 20,000 with a 24-hour volume of 573. So 5.6 thousand is locked liquidity, I'm assuming. This says 573. I would thought it was going to say 1,000. It's actually just like $573. And a market cap of 20,000. It's about a month old. It is absolutely ripping right now. And it just is at its previous all-time high. Which means, you know, that's that pivotal moment where this thing hasn't really broke it yet. Like, it could break it and take off, go into price discovery, all that stuff. They're pushing pretty hard online, it looks like. Or it just gets rejected here and gives you another great entry if you're into this thing. I don't like buying things with $20,000 in them. That's way too low for me. Although if you do that a lot, maybe you hit some crazy win and it, you know, validates all of the other purchases that you've lost tons of money on. Welcome to Chainers and welcome to the Underground Crypto Hangout section of the night. We're running into 10 o'clock, so we've been live for an hour and a half on a Monday. We raised that crypto IQ. We talked about tokenized stocks. There were lots of great things to talk about. Again, this is the last time I'll say it, I promise. Understand that tokenized stocks are not like owning an actual share of a stock through a brokerage agency and traditional finance rails or the old system. You're buying some kind of tokenized version, and the person who built that tokenized version is the one who decided what the rules were, right? They decided how much you really have exposure, if you have voting rights, if you get dividends, all of that good stuff. And that is the main focus. It's not the same thing. And unless a product, like say Coinbase, goes way out of their way to make sure that you get every little bit of value that you would normally get, I don't see why you would buy shares tokenized. And that's going to sound weird coming from somebody who's very pro crypto. But we got to use our common sense, right? Like, if tokenized stocks don't give you dividends and you're going to put $100,000 into something, you should probably get your dividends, right? And if you're going to get your dividends, then buy the regular shares through a brokerage. That's just common sense. What I would like to see, and Coinbase is the only person I've seen say this, they're going to give you your dividends. But are they just going to give you your dividends kind of based off of what you own? How does it go when they split the stocks? Stuff like that, to me, is going to get messy. And I think people are going to get hurt at some point. Yeah, Melissa says, Monad looks good on the weekly. Looks like it's just getting started. Yep. Thanks again for the live. You're absolutely welcome, Stregaheart. We're still in the hangout section here. If anybody has any questions, wants to talk about anything, I'll be on for a little bit longer. So don't feel like we're ending the show right away, Stregaheart. But I appreciate you thanking me. Thank you for thanking me. And the show would be absolutely nothing without you guys. It is still a Monday, and we are still in a bear market. And so the grind continues, as always. But it does put a little bit of wind in my sails to hit 1,500 subs. Next up, 2,000 subs. That's where we're headed next. And I need to get back on making a reel every day. I was doing 2 reels a day, but I was doing it on my walk out in the woods every day. And reels just get me subs usually, but not a ton. 2-3 subs maybe per reel. Of course, crypto's not real huge right now. So YouTube knows. Their algorithm pushes things when things are exciting and trending. When crypto's not exciting and trending, they are not pushing crypto content. Matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. When crypto is down in a bear market per se, and there's a lot of FUD, they almost seem to restrict a lot of crypto content. Which is alright. We got to work with what we got. I would like to get on a few more platforms through like a multi-streaming service, but they charge quite a bit of money to do that. But it'll happen at some point regardless. Anybody ever use Kick? I feel like I keep having people tell me that Kick is a great platform for streamers. I just have no idea about it. I would think something like Twitch. But apparently Kick actually has a lot of people that tip and things like that. Melissa says, congrats on the 1,500 subs. Thank you, thank you. I couldn't do it without all of you guys. And hopefully those subs come in faster as we go into a bull market. Which again, we could go sideways from here, have just a little pump and never really go lower. But I really think we're not out of the woods until we see October, November, and for me, even December, before we really say, all right, the bottom is most likely in. And one of my favorite sayings, and I think it's so true, is like we all put together plans. Maybe yours was based off the 4-year cycle. Maybe yours was, I'm going to sell this coin in 10 years. Maybe yours was, I'm going to sell this coin when it does a 10x. Whatever it was that you bought, hopefully, you had a portfolio and not simply a collection of random purchases. But as they say in martial arts and fighting, everybody has a plan until somebody punches you in the face. And then your plan probably is going to go right outside the window. And you forget that you ever made a plan. And that's how it goes. The market will punch you right in the face. And it's happened to me. Man, I say this all the time. The end of 2024, right? 4-year cycle, 2025 is going to be, the year of the bull run. All the altcoins start just taking off. I in no way think that any of that was an accident. I think somebody knew exactly what they were doing. They knew the right time to pump things, that the market wasn't going to really want to sell off just on a little pump, right? Very few people, I think, sold that 2024 pump because they thought we were running into the bull market, and this was just the beginning. You're pumping this hard at the end of 2024, and then we're going to pump, of course, with some pullbacks. That's normal. But we're going to pump like this all through 2025. Whoa, we're going to make just so much return, right? Nope. That was the altcoin season. I don't think many people, unless you were an insider, I don't know why you would have thought, I should sell right now. You would thought, 4-year cycle, let's go. This thing is about to pump like crazy. And maybe it would have if we weren't in a quantitative tightening scenario for the Fed. Maybe we would have if the Fed would have continued to cut rates and made money cheap. People borrowed money and put it in the crypto market hoping for great returns. People with a lot of credit and the ability to borrow a lot of money. Those things could have propelled us into some crazy heights, but they didn't happen. So whose fault is it? Is it Jerome Powell's? I don't know. But these are just some of my thoughts around it. But yeah, I mean, I could be hard on myself for not selling at the end of 2024. But that wasn't my plan. That wasn't the plan I had put together. So the market punched me in the face. And now I'm still holding. My point is, you put a plan together, no matter how good your plan is. I hope your backup plan is to hold for another cycle. Because if your backup plan is, I'm going to get really scared and depressed and tired of crypto, and I'm going to get mad and sell at an extreme loss at the bottom of the bear market, instead of realizing you just missed your sell and then continuing to understand the market and then stack at the bottom of a bear market, well, then you're probably going to be one of those people who runs around and talks about how much they hate crypto. And that's fair. One thing we found here in the show, Melissa, that might be worth keeping an eye on is this catapult trade. I just think it's very interesting. I want to dig into it a little bit. It's like a pump.fun. It is on Solana, but I noticed that they're doing like a very different kind of system here. Let's see. Can you just click on something and buy it? See, I'm not logged in, so I don't really know here. Oh, wow. You can leverage these? Oh, man. Leveraging meme coins sounds like such a bad idea. Like a really, really bad idea. Audited by... Okay, they've been audited by somebody. Oh, man. Very interesting. I mean, right now it looks like you should buy it. I mean, this thing is bottoming out here, but they're probably just like, look at this move down. They probably just liquidated absolutely everybody. I mean, just absolutely everybody probably just got liquidated here, right? And yeah, but what I did think was interesting were these packages. They do have a referral program, but that's not what I'm trying to push here. Where are the packages? Okay. They have these earn packages. And I wanted to dig into this a little bit more, because I don't know that I 100% understand the idea. So you're going to buy a package. Say you buy, let's say something maybe this premium, $100, right? It's a little more reasonable. You're going to earn $8. Now, let's be honest. If you're dealing with any of this stuff and you don't just lose all your money, I mean, you're doing fantastic. That's my opinion, right? Every day, they're going to give you $3.60 daily. A creator badge, which I don't know, does that give you the ability to create coins? Boosted visibility on the homepage. Interesting. But if you buy, say, $1,000, you'll get a 14% monthly ROI, it says. Is that guaranteed, though? Like, how are they guaranteeing that? Because, like, they're basically saying, hey, if you stake $1,000 with us for a month, we'll give you $140. And it's not a horrible deal. If you have $100,000 in the bank, I would maybe try that out, right? It's not amazing, but if you did it every month, you could make some money. But the way that they kick this out, right, is they give you $38 in daily credits. So my understanding here is that you take your credits every day and you go to over here and you just buy random meme coins and hope that they do something. So that's where I don't really understand the whole, like, 14%. Here's what I'm thinking. This is making more sense now that I have. This is why I got to sit sometimes by myself and hash this out. Just kind of doing it with you. They do have how it works, and we'll go to that in a minute. But it seems to me like they're giving you $38 a day in daily credits. They're going to give you 1,140 credits. Now, if you pick bad coins, or the markets just don't do well, or the people making the coins just suck all the money out of it, well, then guess what? You don't make any money. You don't make $140. You just use all your credits and hope that things pump, and if they don't pump, then you don't get squat, right? Maybe you find one that does extremely well. Let's go to how it works, right? Let's get into it. First, choose any token. Browse tokens on the main or discovery page. Tokens differ in mode, which determines how long they last and how fast the price moves. As if we needed more variables in a meme coin market. Like we needed 100x leverage in a meme coin market. No, we did not. And I don't know that they offer 100x. I'm just saying. All right. So you browse the tokens in the main or discovery page. Tokens differ in mode. So you got to know what mode your token is in. That sounds terrifying. Which determines how long they last. How long the tokens last? Are the tokens going to expire at some point? That doesn't sound good. And how fast the price moves. Deposit and place a trade. Pretty much like perpetual markets for absolutely super tiny tokens. Sounds like a great way to lose all your money. Place a trade using spot or futures. I'm going to be spot. I'll tell you that. Up to 125x leverage. That is just sounds like you could lose your money immediately. Has anybody really traded small, like not like pump.fun coins, like just small meme coins, what we would consider small meme coins, like 20, 30, 40 million dollars in market cap? You could be on like 15x leverage and get liquidated very quickly. I can't imagine how little something has to move to get liquidated on 125x leverage. That's insane. In futures, you set the notional amount and the margin is calculated automatically. And then just enjoy your profits. They don't say anything about losses, though. Close your position by clicking it in the list below the chart. You can set a stop loss and a take profit beforehand. Now, of course, to be 100% like honest, I think this could do really well. Mostly because I think a lot of people are going to lose all their money messing around with it. The super experienced people are going to do better than obviously the people who just try to hop in here. But it seems terrifying. Yeah, Melissa says, I wouldn't touch this. It looks like it is designed to take your money in a pretty package. I'm sure someone will win big, but not me. I'll lose straight up. Melissa, 1,000 million, bajillion, quadrillion % agree with you. If I got on here and started buying tokens, I would lose all my money. Now, that's mostly saying if I got on here and started trying to use leverage. I don't care if it was 10x leverage. If I buy spot, I might do okay, but I'll still hesitate to sell it when I'm up big. And I'll probably ride that thing down to zero unless I put in a stop loss, which is kind of nice. But you could do that spot anywhere on anything. I don't really see the point. The only thing that's even slightly cool about it is that if you buy, a package, they're going to give you a little extra. If you knew you were already going to spend $100 in a month, like that was, you had, I don't know, $300,000-$400,000 a year income, and you knew you were going to just waste $100 a month on pump.fun coins trying to catch the big one because you can't afford it, emphasis on because you can't afford it, then sure, I'd hop on here, get a free $10, or I'd buy 1,000. If you had that much money, I'd buy 1,000 a month, get me an extra $140 to play with. But if you're not already going to do that, I certainly wouldn't deal with it. But it is very interesting. I could have a referral link. I think it might be slightly irresponsible to have a referral link, but I would keep an eye on it. The one thing that I wonder here, and again, this is the end of the show, we're just hanging out, we're just really diving deep into something like this catapult trade because it caught my interest that they were doing something a little different than usual. Does it give you exposure to like pump.fun coins, or are these only coins that are created here? That's what I wonder, because it seems like there's some heavy fragmentation in launch pads that I think is kind of lame, if you ask me. Like, if we're on Solana, there should be some unification, right? And why does it say 800 slots? Like, only 800 coins can be made per day? Is that what we're saying? And notice how sometimes it goes down. So, like, do they expire? That was the part I didn't really get about. I've never heard of, like, a meme coin expiring, so that's kind of weird. Now, it seems like some of these are boosted, so maybe this is boosted. It says boosted, right? Don't get me wrong. For what, an hour? This one's, like, slow boosted for 2.5. I wish Prime Minister was here. This would be a great show for him to give me some commentary on. And then they say all kinds of things like mayhem, flash, crack. All I'm saying is I would take some serious time to understand exactly what all of this means and what you're doing before you touched anything. Can you, let's see, let's use some of our filters. go to the lowest time remaining. 43 minutes is the lowest time remaining. Okay, here we go. This thing says 1 second. Okay, it just went to... So let's check Giggle Chain. And it looks like it timed out. It says 0 minutes, 0 seconds. Is that for the boost? Is that for the coin? Does the coin disappear? Token modes differ in duration and volatility. Mayhem is for 1 minute 5x. Slow is 4 hours, 125x max leverage. So wait, you can like 15x, but only for 15 minutes? Is that what they're saying? All right. What is volatility? Shows how much the price changes on average per tick. Okay, well, we know what volatility means. Volatile periods, 1 tick is the minimum difference. Yeah, we know. Okay, they just give you the definition of volatility. That's not useful. I would want to know things like if I have a 40x leverage position open and the hour is over, what happens to my position? Does it automatically close? Like, what happens? That's the type of information I would like, not just like what the word volatility means. That's pretty stupid. Fees earned on tokens. Would be very interesting to get on here and just make a token, right? That's where I always wonder where the money is, because it's like if you just get on here and you just make tokens, what risk do you really have? And how much money do you have to put behind it? Because look at these. Robin Profit. You see a lot of the same names here making tokens. Bin Scalper. That sounds like not a good name to have. Be like, buy my coin, I'll scalp you. Definitely be paying attention to some of these users here. Hilarious. I hope whoever did that used their actual face, right? Then we have some, what? Oh, there was like a Grand Theft Auto one. I'm wondering how much money you really have to like invest here. And how much you got to worry about like things like royalties and stuff. Probably not at all. Interesting. Because this is like a not very well known one, I'm very tempted to like sign up and just make a coin, right? Pull this down for a half a second. Complete 4 free launches and earn your reward. Launch 4 free tokens and complete the reward. Get a package. So what the heck do we got to do? We're going to launch a token live. You got to have a picture. Okay. 4 left. So it looks like you got to drop like some money on the advanced settings. Deposit some money. I'm just wondering, like, what's the minimum money you got to put behind something in order to like launch it? Or do you even have to put money behind something to launch it? Can you launch it at $0 here? Very interesting stuff. We're rolling into 2 hours of streaming here. It's a successful Monday night. Again, we hit 1,500 subs. Very happy about that. And we're going to keep going. I'll see you guys tomorrow for sure. And we are going to just take this market and everything going on kind of day by day. Maybe I'm going to make a coin. Maybe I won't. Depends on how much money they want me to put behind it, right? That's the big one. If I can launch it for like $2, I'll do it. Just to see what the heck happens. Who knows? Maybe it's amazing. Maybe I earn $10 in fees. Maybe I learn how to grab the most speculative ideas and hype people up. But I doubt it. And this is Sunflower Land. Link in the description. And I need to plant some sunflowers, huh? And I need to go fishing. I did like the mini games that they launched on here. That was pretty cool. Let's play a mini game real quick. I really want to pick a faction, but I don't even think I'm allowed to yet. I'm too much of a pleb in this game to pick a faction. Let's do the chicken rescue, which I was not very good at, surprisingly. So your guy, like, he never stops. Like, you can't stop him. What I didn't like is you think you're like far away from something, but you will still hit it. You will still hit that thing. That's really what I gotta dial into, is how close I gotta be to get something and how far away. Also, you can run into your own chickens. I wasn't really a fan of that. Basically, if you're familiar with like the snake game, that's pretty much what you're playing. So when like your own tail gets so long that you run into it, like right now, I'm basically stuck here. Wow, I cannot believe I made it between those rocks at all. That's shocking. I tried to turn around. You can't turn around. Mission failed. They want you to get to 50? I swear they only wanted us to get to like 25 the other day. 50. It's going to be a long chicken parade if I got to get to 50. But with the mini games, and I totally hit over and he didn't go over. All right. Not a huge fan of that game. That game's kind of boring. The memory flip. This one just seems like the easiest one to win. Let's do it. Whatever that is. Some cabbage, sunflower. Mostly just have to randomly click around here until we get something similar. That was corn. Thought I had already clicked on corn. There we go. How good is your memory? Hopefully better than mine. There we go. Like, I know I'm not playing this the right way at all. Could be way more strategic here. But I hope everybody enjoyed the 4th of July. What did you guys do for 4th of July? Anybody do anything cool? Melissa says she's just watching. She's got her popcorn ready. All right, we're dwindling them down. I don't know. Do I have a time limit or something? Is there a time limit? It said 4 seconds. I think we were right there on that time limit. That seems like the easiest thing to do. Oh my god. The temple one with the memory challenge that just goes on forever. Whew. That one, I don't know if I can stand to play that game. It's just too much. It'd be one thing if you had to get to like a certain combo, but I just think that game goes on forever. And just like the chicken one, all of a sudden they're like, get 50 chickens. I'm like, whoa, what happened there? Okay. I was not sure which ones we're supposed to hit and what we're not supposed to hit. Oh, I hit a bunny. Destroyed my points there. Should make sense. Whack-a-mole. You gotta whack the moles. Can't look at anything but this, so I don't really know what the heck I'm supposed to get to for points. What is my point target here? Oh, I looked away for a half a second. Oh, they want you to get to 2,500. All right, let's see if we can get to 2,500 here. Of course, it seems like it starts getting much faster as you go along. And again, these mini games, they give you something to do on Sunflower, make it a little bit more fun. The fact that this game has survived like as long as it has, not the mini game obviously, that's new, and it's still integrating, still has devs. I think that they just might be, and a lot of people aren't going to talk about it and tell you about it, I think they might have done a good job with their game economy. That makes sense, right? It's kind of impressive if you ask me. Just because a lot of games that seemed a lot flashier and cooler came along and they didn't survive. Whether that's because people like stole money or something, I don't know. That's a different idea altogether. But assuming a project was on the up and up and they still failed due to bad tokenomics. Oh yeah, it's getting faster. Have I reached the target goal of 2,500 here? All right, I'm starting to miss. Let's go. I can't look at anything but this. All right, yeah. See, that time we did way more. What is this? All right. How do I get out of this? No, I don't want to donate. All right, there's the back button. So you get these little marks from playing the mini game. And then you can go to this guy, and obviously there's a little store for all these marks. I think you got to come down quite a bit. How many do I have, does it say? Getting a key for 1,000 is actually a pretty good deal. That would be my goal. I only have 185, so that tells you everything you need to know there. Yeah, I'll play a couple a day. I don't think I'm going to go crazy on it. This is the last one I'm probably going to play here. Had to work most of the day. These 2 weeks have been rough. It sounded like it. You were saying how much you worked a 19-hour day and things. That sounded pretty brutal. I mean, 12-hour shifts are brutal. 19-hour shifts, definitely brutal, but that paycheck. You're gonna like that paycheck, I have a feeling. When you get the paycheck, maybe you won't be upset about how many hours you had to work. And then it sounded like the hours were somewhat by choice. I mean, we're all having to survive in the economy, so I don't know about any of it really being by choice, but, you know, it sounded like at least you have the ability to say no to them. They're not mandatory hours. So that's cool that you can pick them up and earn really well on like time and a half. 19 hours. It's got to be pretty good. For what you do, I imagine it's decent pay. where some people just have crazy hours for very little pay and they're mandatory hours. It's like when you work for a company, and I've worked for companies like this, warehouses and stuff, and then they're like, we've decided we're doing mandatory overtime. And I'm like, I got hired for like a 40-hour-a-week position. I don't know how you just change my 40 hours a week to 60 just because you decided that you wanted to. And then if I decide I don't want it, then I'm up for termination. It's like, I held up my end of the deal. I'm working my 40 hours a week. Why do you get to just change the agreement out of nowhere and then I'm gonna get fired? Crazy. That's why I work for myself. Oh, I ran out of time. What was I supposed to get? Mission failed. New weekly mission. Okay, mailbox. Okay, so there's a mailbox now. That's kind of cool. All right, get me the heck out of here. Done with that. All right, well, I think it's about time. We're 2 hours of streaming. I'll let you know if I make any coins over on Catapult. I'm definitely going to go as far as at least seeing what kind of money you have to put behind them, just because doing things like that really lets me, myself, understand what game people are playing, right? Are they launching these coins for $0? Is there any risk to you to launch a coin? $10, $1? Can I launch it for $0? You know what I'm saying? Because if you could just launch coins all day for like $2 and make money off of it, I can see why it is so saturated, right? Anyway, stay underground, stay crypto. Thank you for coming to the Monday stream with Kickoff. We talked about tokenized assets. We're going to be talking about the war over the rails of crypto, stable coins, like just everything in a blockchain environment. Somebody's going to want to be number one. Somebody's going to want to be on top of that environment and making all the money, whether it's Coinbase, Kraken, or somebody else, right? And so that is very much what we're going to continue to talk about. Look forward to tomorrow's series. I'll be announcing exactly what the topic is in the Discord. Free Discord in the link. Have a great night, everybody. And once again, stay underground, stay crypto, think long term, and I will catch you in the next episode. Underground Crypto out.